Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Stipe, thanks for joining us, man. Really, really excited to talk to you. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. You're fighting Jon Jones. That was announced last week. Massive, massive news. Before you talk about Jones, would you mind just like, since when did we speak, Anthony, with Stipe? About a year ago?
Yeah, it's been about a year.
Yeah. From your perspective, Stipe, what's been going on for the last year? Talk of Jones, etc.
Trying to get the fight. It's the fight I wanted. It's finally here. So it's thank God. But yeah, also, I got a full-time job as a fighter. I was working part-time, now I'm full-time. Fire department. I have 2 kids now. Well, I think I talked about that before. I already had a child, but I already have the second one was born. Working out and getting better and getting bigger, and same old, always the grind.
What kind of process was it to get that Jon Jones fight done? It seemed like it was done early, and then it kind of faded away, and then it kind of popped back up again. Was it a pain in the ass? Yeah.
Moments. Just a lot of times where, we'll talk off camera, but
but you were ready to go, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just the one time, the first time they asked, I said, "Not right now. I can't. Give me." And I told them I could do it a few weeks later, but they said they know. They said it's okay, and then other things came up. But people don't understand that there's a lot more to it than me not trying to fight.
Is this one of the tougher ones to get done in your career?
Much tougher ones. I just UFC always has a thing that you need to get to, and sometimes just didn't work out for them. It's a business. I get it.
This is going to be a massive fight. We've got the greatest heavyweight of all time against what some people would call the GOAT. What is your thoughts on Jon Jones being the greatest of all time?
That's good for him. And, unfortunately, November 11th, lots going to change.
I've been hearing a lot of you kind of see as the fight gets announced, you see the rumblings of what people are kind of saying and expecting or whatever. But I have seen a lot of people making a big deal of you working full time as a firefighter, and maybe there's people are saying maybe you're not.
Are you talking about Dominic Cruz by any chance, Anthony?
Did Cruz say that?
On the pre-fight show, sorry, Stipe, on the pre-fight show on Saturday for the pay-per-view, we mentioned your fight, obviously, and Dominic Cruz was like, and this is everywhere. This is not me ratting on Dominic Cruz. If you just Google it, it's all over. But who's Stipe training with? What is he, shadow boxing trees? Is he fighting fires? He's going up against Jon Jones, and he's out there fighting firemen. I'm like, Cruz, what are you talking about? So sorry, Anthony. I thought that's what you were. Yeah, well,
referencing. It's that same. People are saying that you've been fighting. You've been firefighting full time now, and I guess this is your opportunity. You're obviously still training super hard. Last time I seen you, you were jacked as shit. So you're obviously working.
Yeah, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. I haven't changed anything I've done. I can still work out at the station. I can do things there too. It's not like every day is a sparring day or a pad day, it's conditioning, lifting. There's recovery days. There's, I don't understand people. If I need to take a break, I take a break.
Jones was just announced as the ESPN or the ESPY. He won the ESPY for the best fighter of the year. After being away for so long, he came back, fought Cyril Gane, right? A guy that, with respect to Cyril, lovely guy, kind of a tailor-made matchup, right? Great kickboxer, not much grappling. What do you think of that? Him coming back, beating Cyril Gane, becoming the champion, and now being the fighter of the year.
Good for him. It's awesome. He's doing what he's supposed to, and you get a few prizes here and there along the way. It's great. We
all like prizes.
Good for him. We're not worried about that though. He won the fight. Good for him. But said, November 11th, it's a different story.
The couple times you and I have had just conversations just about the potential matchup and how you would approach it, or at least mentally approach it. I've been fascinated by your mindset, because it's everyone else who talks about Jon Jones. It's, well, I got to deal with this and I got to deal with this, and he does this very well, so I got to neutralize that. and that's not the vibe I've ever gotten from you. It's you're probably the only person in the world that I've seen that's been completely, I don't want to say dismissive of his skills, because obviously you respect him as an opponent, but
yes,
you're just not that worried about it. Like you're just, it's fascinating to me. So I wanted to dig into your mindset a little bit. Like when you look at him as an opponent, I know you're not going to trash talk or we're not giving up game plans or any of that stuff, but just how do you look at him as an opponent? Because I don't get the vibe you see like a guy that you're super worried about. Like you don't feel very threatened, at least in my opinion.
Every fight you feel threatened because it's a fight. You never know what's going to happen. But at the same time, though, I train my ass off to prepare myself for every situation. And and I listen to my coaches, and I'm not going to let him dictate what he wants to do. I'm going to dictate what I want to do. I'm going to do what I want, because the minute I let him start doing what I want, I lost the fight. But if I want to do what I want, then my chances are a lot better of winning than losing.
For sure.
When you look at him, obviously everyone's seen Jon Jones fight. He's been around forever. And he's very good, of course. He's long. He has good takedowns. He uses his range well. What do you think is the biggest problem that he presents for you?
I think he's real good at just throwing weird stuff in there, not seeing like spinning stuff, and just just kind of sometimes off the wall stuff that it works. And I'm not like that. You say I'm a basic bitch. I'm more of a 1-2 kick.
Stipe, the basic bitch Miocic. That rhymes.
Pretty much what it is. But he's very dangerous from anywhere. He does things that you wouldn't expect. So you have to prepare for everything.
Yeah, just it's so wild to me how it's. I guess your mindset and my mindset when I fought Jon is so different. Like you like Cyril Gahn went through that whole training camp expecting, okay, I got to worry about the wrestling. Like you don't seem to have that one thing in your head. It's just I'm going to go out here, I'm going to do this, and go get it done. What?
Yeah. So we work on everything he does. We definitely
right.
You get a train partner or your pad work, whatever it is. You work on stuff that he's good at, but also you work on stuff that you're good at, stuff that's going to neutralize it, stuff that's going to counter it, stuff that's going to hurt him, stuff that's going to win the fight. And that's what I do every fight. Sometimes it doesn't go out the plan, but most of the time it works. I've done well with it.
Is this a fight that you're excited for? I mean, obviously it's Jon Jones, Madison Square Garden. I'm not sure if you fought there before, but is this something that it really fires you up and gets you out of bed in the morning, wanting to train? Yeah,
I love it. This is the minute I'm not having fun, the minute I'm out, and I'm having fun. It's great to be back with the guys, young guys, and just learning from them. I'm still learning. I know I'm 40, but man, just let's see things, and just try new things, and just if it don't work out, it don't work out. That's why it's practice. So I do things that might not be comfortable for me, but if I get used to it, or use it the way that I can make it work, I'm in. But it's been fun.
So is it gonna? I don't know how to ask this. Is it gonna take guys like Jon Jones or fights like Jon Jones to listen, man? We've talked about this a lot. You're the greatest heavyweight, most accomplished heavyweight of all time. You've won the title. You've fought in your home city in front of everybody. You've been all over the world. You've made a shit ton of money. Like you got a beautiful family. You kind of done it all. And
not done yet.
That's what I'm asking. Like it's the Jon Jones types of fights that continue to get you up in the morning.
Yeah.
So you go in there, you beat Jon. What's next? What's that next thing that's going to get you out of bed?
I'm not worried about that. I'm going to worry about, definitely my kids. That's for sure. They'll definitely get me out of bed. There's no question there. But right now, I'm not worried about what after. I'm worried about right now, present. I'm worried about, November 11th. That's all I care about. So,
obviously,
my mentality is this, ever since I was a kid, my mom, dad, they just told me, like, listen, get what you're worth. Always work hard and, good things will happen. And, that's what I've always done. A lot of people, they give me a good shot to be a good heavyweight champion or even do well in the UFC. Look what I've done. I just like shutting people up. That's what I do.
Is there any chance that this would be your last fight?
Yeah, I'd say that every fight. After my first fight, 36, I thought about retiring. We'll see. It's definitely getting closer to the end. No, there's no question about it. But I feel great.
Yeah, you're so. You feel good, but and this is just me kind of nerding out a little bit. Your body has definitely changed, like your composition. You know,
You checking me out?
I mean, a little bit.
Say,
I've talked about it on the. I've talked about it on the podcast before.
That's all he talks about. Stipe looks amazing. Stipe looks good. He's jacked. He's got a six pack. His skin's all shiny. Man, he's got a lovely tan right now. He's got a fresh haircut. It's like, bro.
I mean, there was a point when you fought Francis when you were super lean. You know, and
I could do that. I tried so hard. You know, and I'm probably like 245 right now. And I mean, and my body will adjust. It's been hot, so I've been sweating a lot more.
Right.
So once I adjust here, I'll gain a little bit more weight back. Probably around 245, 250 for the fight, no questions.
Do you think that the size thing with Jon, you know, him coming up, and do you think that that's going to be better or worse for him? Like, do you think he'll be better if he's heavier, or you think if he's a little lighter, it'll be a little bit tougher to deal with?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just, I think every guy's different. You know, I think when I was 230, I felt great, but also I definitely lost some mass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I was a little bit bigger, you know, a couple fights would help me, but it didn't. You know, it was not that I wasn't trying to lose the weight. My wife's like, you gotta eat. I'm like, you're literally feeding me 3-4 times a day. it's literally falling off. I don't know what you want me to do. And, but yeah, right now I feel great. I'm 245, 250, and I think I'll get back up again once my body gets adjusts to the heat again, because it's got really hot now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot more, I guess. You know, that's what I'm saying. But but I'll be back up.
The fight game's filled with a lot of highs and lows. You've been there, you've done it. Anthony mentioned there the Francis and Ngannou fight. That was your last fight. Yeah, I've been there. You know what I mean? You stick around and fight at the highest level for long enough, it happens. Absolutely no shame. What was it the period like after that, Stipe, if you don't mind me asking? Obviously, people deal with that in different ways. You know, how did you deal with that?
Just came home and just enjoyed life. You know, I just worried about my family, worried about, kids. But our son was, my wife was, 6-7 months pregnant. Our son was born in August. So that definitely helped me out a lot, just to keep my mind off of things. And it was, blessing twice as happened. So good.
Mm. Was there any talk of a rubber match? Because that seems like that would have been the natural flow.
I definitely tried. Unfortunately it won't happen, but, good for him. He's on to better things. And, he got a great payday as he should. He's got a good fight coming up against Tyson Fury. I hope he does well. It's a tough one, but, he's definitely got the power.
What do you think about that, though?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sorry, Anthony.
But I mean, I have the same question as Mike. How do you see that whole Francis kind of ordeal? Obviously, I know you wanted to fight him, but then once he goes out, you've always kind of been the quieter voice and kind of making sure that you are treated the way that you think that you're treated. And it seemed like that was Francis's whole kind of, I guess his whole process was getting what he wanted and being about the fighters or whatever. Did you find yourself kind of rooting for him as that was all going on?
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that, him going for the fighters, but the problem is it's like a conveyor belt. One guy leaves, one jumps in, and it doesn't matter. It's kind of selfish. It is, but the kid's also trying to make a living for himself. So it's just a tough spot. But I understand he was doing it. It was great. I got it. It was great. It was, I saw what he's doing, but unfortunately, right now, it's not the time.
Right. Do you think he beats Tyson Fury?
Be a good fight. I mean, on paper, no. But
yeah.
I mean, any guy would say no just because paper, even me, just because we're going to his world. But also, it's a fight. Anything can happen. He hits hard, and it's and he throws wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. You never know, but as you say, it is a fight. It's two human beings, and Francis is big enough, strong enough, powerful enough, and I think brave enough to go out there and fucking swing. You know what I mean?
If you guys do the same thing, man, I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah. Jon Jones, how do you feel about the guy? Do you guys have a relationship at all? Do you know each other?
I mean, we talked a few times, but that was a while back. But I mean, whatever.
So this is just strictly business, nothing personal, nothing like that.
I'm good. I'm gonna go out and do my.
Speaking of getting personal, you get any respect at the firehouse yet? Or they still treat you like shit?
Like, hey, celebrity, what's up, celebrity? I'm like, well, I'm not a celebrity like you are. And then 4th of July, we had to do some stuff for the city for the fireworks, and I was a bike medic, and they're like, hey, you have a camera crew following you around the whole day? I'm like, it never ends. Never ends.
They're bastards. But you wouldn't want it any different, would you? I mean, because that's the treat you normal, the busting your balls. That's what you like.
Yeah, well, they don't bust your balls. I mean, they don't like you, so I'm good with it.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
What else has been going on outside of the world of mixed martial arts? Because Anthony tells me if he tries to talk to you about MMA, you're not interested. But if you want to talk about anything else, you're all about it.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about it. We had dinner at Catch.
Yeah. Oh, what about your fight though? What?
Talk about your fights and stuff.
Oh yeah. But I guess my point was you don't watch.
It's not about me.
I mean, you're not sitting around watching every fight night card though.
No, not at all. No. Like, no.
Which I think that is I think that's part of a lot of the reason you are the way you are as far as your mindset going into fights. Like you don't consume yourself with it and overly concern yourself. Like I think that sometimes we get, myself included, I get too into the weeds and I'm almost overstimulated with the sport a little bit. And so I can never get away from it. So even, when Mike was saying, how did you get through, what was the time like after the Francis fight? I suspect that it was probably easier because of your mindset that when I lose, I'm right back on the desk or I'm right here with Mike on Monday and that's all we're talking about. So it's not like I can't get away from it. So you're very insulated, with your friends and your family. And I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, there's no question. I'm real tight. Like, we have we have a lot of good friends and they're real tight, but they'll ask something, but they never bring it up more. They don't really talk about it. Like I could really go out there and get dropped in 1 second and they're like, all right, cool. Hey, you want to go to the bar tomorrow? Like, Like they don't care. Like they don't be fighting. They just care about me as a person, which, it's going to have a team like that.
I do know what you mean because on the flip side, that's all people talk to me about. And when I'm going about, my day and they want to talk about this fight, that fight, and I'm like, that's work. That's work to me. I will talk about anything else. Yeah. I don't follow sports, so not anything, but.
And like a lot of my friends, if we all go out or something like that, and there'll be someone new, they'll go up to them like, do not talk about fighting at all.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's Stipe. They're like, bro, he's on a fucking night out.
And I play like a dump card too. Someone comes up to me and like I'm nice about it. But they're like, "Oh, you're gonna fight?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I kind of just keep drifting away, like
just like disappearing.
Yeah, So I love. The only time I watch is like the Anthony fights or like Weidman fights or when he was fat fighting heavyweight.
Outside of the octagon, Stipe, outside of your family, obviously, what do you like to do? What's fun for you?
I do like golf. I haven't played this year though, unfortunately, because it's just been so busy. We got the pool, so I use the pool a lot, just not even so much for training, just to just enjoy it. And I just enjoying life. I don't know, just loving every aspect and just the kid. I know it's family stuff, but a lot of it it's the kids that are still young, so it's just I love doing things with them and watching them. Like my daughter's like she's getting into sports now and. She's in soccer and cool. So I would play soccer and this year coming up, this fall. And, my son, he just wants to fight, which drives me nuts. But, it is what it is. He's not even 2 yet. And he's like, hits everything with boxing gloves on. He's like ready to rock and roll. He's like, boom, boom. I'm like,
oh God. Sounds like a natural.
Yeah, we went to the gym yesterday. My daughter does like the little leaders class, for discipline, learning how to do stuff. And my son literally walks around the whole gym with his chest puffed and the gloves on, just hitting everything. And I'm like, this is so bad. So
you still train with Alexis? Is he still training with you guys?
Yeah. We worked out yesterday together. August 5th or 12th or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's coming up pretty soon, right?
Right.
Is he still tough as shit?
Yeah, I fucking hate sparring that guy. He's getting crafty and craft. Sorry, he's getting crafty. I'm like, stop it, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, he's getting in better shape because he's got a fight coming up, and like I'm in good shape now too. But then he gets more on point. I'm like, oh, stop it, you young son of a bitch! Like, stop hitting me so hard.
So those young guys.
So what are you weighing right now, Stipe?
Like 245.
And is that heavy for you?
No, I was heavier. Like when I saw Anthony, I was about closer to 255.
Oh, I see. So come fight night, obviously it's Jon Jones, and I know you don't talk trash, and I really respect that. But of course, your confidence is going to be high going into this because it should be. How does this end, and how do you expect the fight to play out?
How do I expect to play out? Well, I'm walking out with the belt wrapped on my waist and new. There's no question about that. And I'm just going to beat him in every aspect of the game. I'm definitely going for the finish.
You think he takes you down?
If he does, I'll get right back up.
Do you think he pokes you in the eye?
Or that torn
I'm
retina.
joking. I'm sorry, John. If you see that, it's a joke.
Yeah, see, shits and giggles. I'm definitely walking out with the belt wrapping around my waist. There's no question. You know,
Anthony, you should have said there. Does he knee you in the head?
Yeah. Does he knee you in the head? Does he kick you
Again,
in the balls?
John.
We're just
Again,
kidding.
John, I'm joking. I'm
just kidding.
So, yeah.
Oh dear.
I look at it though.
All right, let's take a quick minute to thank our newest sponsor, Manta Sleep. You know the deal by now. High-level athletes and performers, they know that quality sleep is the foundation for everything good that happens in life. And driven by that belief, Manta is on a mission to give light sleepers control and mastery over their sleep. With Manta Sleep, you can maximize the enjoyment of life and unlock your potential. Look, listen, that's not an exaggeration. If you struggle to sleep, if there's distractions that keep you awake, if a little bit of light or whatever it is stops you from getting the sleep that you need, which will ensure a great next day, a productive day, a happy day, not a grumpy day. We know what it's like. Tired, no sleep, you're not productive, you're lazy, you can't be bothered, you sit on your ass, you eat crap food. Bad sleep equals a bad day. Well, listen, these masks will keep everything 100% black. They are 100% blackout, which will give you deeper sleep. They're made of soft, breathable materials, so you don't worry about it stretching or falling off. They have a bunch of different styles. They got the sound mask, which has Bluetooth headphones in it with a 20-hour battery life. And as always, Manta gives you a 60-day risk-free trial and free shipping in the USA. So go to the website, mantasleep.com, see the full selection of everything they have. They've got body pillows, weighted blankets, sleep machines, everything that you might need to help you get a better night's sleep. So one more time, mantasleep.com. Use the promo code Bisping. Get 10% off the perfect gift for yourself or the light sleeper that everybody knows. Manta, sleep better anywhere, anytime. Can we ask you a question about non-MMA? Because we have our producer here. Harrington, on the screen, please. Show yourself.
What's going on, Mr. Bisping?
Right, we have the greatest heavyweight of all time. What have you got on your head?
It's a headband.
Oh my God.
We
have Stipe here, and that's what you chose to wear?
Yeah, looking good. I'm sorry, guys.
Stipe, this is our producer, Harrington. Harrington, this is the greatest heavyweight of all time, Stipe Miocic. You sent a question this morning about some people in Australia. Dinks, they were called. Yeah, pose the question to the group. Have you got 2 minutes, Stipe? Give us your thoughts on this. Go ahead, ask the question first. Stipe's like, well, it depends what it is.
So a 34-year-old Australian couple, they were looking to be celebrated online because the husband got a vasectomy. The concept there is that they are not going to be having children. Therefore, they will not be contributing to greater climate change. And instead, they will take the money that they would having kids and traveling, seeing the world, essentially just living out their lives as people with no kids.
I mean,
should these guys be celebrated?
Yeah,
Sounds boring.
Nothing to do with climate change, but yeah.
Yeah, no. So the headline was, these people are selfish and all the rest of it. I'm like, I read the story because Harrington sent it this morning like it was groundbreaking. And I'm like, I'm reading through, but I'm like, where is the story? Where's the story, Harrington? It's like, all right, they got a vasectomy because they don't want kids. They want to travel the world. Well, good fucking luck to them.
So they made a list, right? Like an Amazon wish list of stuff you could buy them. Like instead of getting stuff for a baby registry or like a wedding registry, this is their registry for stuff they're going to need for their life with no kids. Do you think that's a little bit out of pocket?
Yeah, I mean, they can definitely they're going to get whatever they want because they don't have to spend the money on a kid every year. So
Yes.
Yeah, they can just buy it there. You know what? I'm going to make a list, and I'm only going to send it to Stipe. I'm going to say, listen, you're the greatest heavyweight of all time. Here's my list of things I need to feel good about myself.
Right? I mean, I got a vasectomy too. I mean, right after my second one, I was in it as out.
Bro. I've got to get mine done. I've got to get it done. We cannot have any accidents at our age.
Man, I'm like, dude, honestly, it was 20-minute procedure. It was awkward. Like,
someone's chopping your dick off.
Well, yeah. And like you have to shave your twigs and berries, they're coming all ready to go.
Manscaped will do it nice and easy.
And then of course the girl nurse was, getting me set up, and she was like, I just want you to know we're huge fans. I'm like, So I was like, all right, cool. And then the doctor comes in, he's doing his thing. We literally had a conversation the whole time about like he was going to Florida and like he went to the Browns game. I'm like, this is really happening right now. I was like, he's really just me like, it's crazy.
I'm too afraid.
So, hey, Anthony. So we asked Stipe about his fight with Jon Jones. Man, a few words. We asked him about getting a vasectomy. The man comes alive. He's like, he's holding court. He's telling us all about it. Oh dear. So obviously there was a story yesterday with Elon Musk which tied into what Harrington just said there, because they're going on the day on not having children. We're all fathers here. Right, I think we can all easily agree that being a father is the best joy in the world. Okay, but not everyone is lucky enough to have that. Elon Musk came out yesterday. He's like, kids make you happier. Simple as that. Oh, here we go.
People just don't understand, like, nothing will make you happier than having kids. It will absolutely improve your happiness level to have kids. If it wasn't rewarding instinctively to have kids, we wouldn't have them. So I think that's important to understand. You will absolutely be happier if you have kids.
Right. Well,
that's true.
I know. So Harrington's sending that thing in there yesterday. They're choosing not to have kids. That's great. Elon's out there saying kids are the best thing ever. I don't know where I'm going with this, but we thought they tied in a little bit.
Happy those parents did that, because maybe they wouldn't have been good parents. Maybe they've been crappy parents and the kid would have a terrible upbringing.
Well, you're right, because a lot of people get brought into this world that don't have a choice. Obviously, none of us have a choice in it. You know what I mean? But they're brought into terrible situations.
Yeah, no, there's no question. I just, there's some kids that they're in a bad situation, and just it is what it is, and maybe for those parents, maybe a blessing in disguise, maybe they shouldn't have kids.
Do you think that I just is something I wonder, do you think that it made you tougher or softer when you had kids? Like some people, like some fighters have kids and it makes them like real nasty because they're so much more motivated. Yeah. For the first couple years after my first kid, I was kind of a pussy. Like I was kind of a big softy. Like it kind of fucked with me a little bit. It was hard to be a mean and nasty fighter while you're like holding on to this little baby girl all the time. Yeah,
no, I think it definitely helped me. Definitely motivated me more at a purpose. And I think that was big. I didn't think this is not a big softy. There's no question about it. But at the end of the day, if I'm getting punched in the face by another man, I'm gonna get nasty too, real quick.
For sure.
I'm trying to teach my kids too. My daughter, she's a girl. She's sensitive, of course, but also she's a savage. she don't care. And my son, he's just it's September of Virgo, right? And August, September is that Virgo?
I don't even know.
No idea.
Yeah.
He's definitely got an attitude. I have to check that real quick. Like my daughter, she's like a sweet and sour. 1 minute she's sweet, next minute she's like destroying everyone. Like my son, he's just straight sour. So I just gotta check his little attitude real quick. But he's a good boy. There's nothing bad about him. He's just definitely they both got the alpha in them. That's what I want. That's what I keep driving into them. I want them to be the alpha.
Do you go in for all that? What is it, astrology or the star signs and stuff like that? Is it astrology? What do they call it?
Yeah, astrology. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Do you believe in that stuff?
Yeah, a little bit. I do. Not like I'm not like actually for a long. I dated a girl for like a month. Not even. She called and texted one day. And she's like, "We're not compatible." I'm like, "What did you look at? Did you look at your sign today or something in the newspaper?" Like I didn't care. Like I was like, "All right, see." Like it was so awkward, but no, yeah, my wife, she's definitely a Leo. My daughter's a Leo, so definitely there's a lot of button heads. But it's good. It's all good.
What are you, Stipe? What are you?
I'm a Leo.
I'm a Leo.
What? Leo, star, sign.
End of July.
July what?
26th.
Oh, my daughter's
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember that.
These are the traits for a Leo star sign. Leos are the natural leaders of the zodiac. Oh, fuck off. As magnificent and oh, God. Of course you both believe in this. Right, hold on. This is what a Leo is. Leos are the natural leaders of the zodiac. As magnificent and striking as the lion embodies their sign. Leos are radiantly joyful, liberal with their appeal and endowments. They are fiercely proud and confident. They love and live life to the fullest rather than being in charge at home, in work and play. Oh, piss off.
Thanks for that, Mike. I needed that.
You're lions. I'm a fish. So astrology can kiss my ass. All right, I think we've taken you for long enough there, Stipe, unless you want to stick around a bit.
No, I would, but actually I think my son just got up selfishly.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you, buddy.
We'll allow it.
Yeah.
You're the man, Steve. You're the man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me. And we'll
Take
talk.
care.
Good
Thanks,
luck with
Stipe.
camp, and we'll see you in New York, buddy. All the best.
Bye, guys.
See you, man.
Take care. And there he is, the greatest heavyweight of all time, but more importantly, one of the nicest guys of all time.
For sure. Yeah, he's a lot of fun. Sometimes the MMA part of it kind of takes away from his ability to have fun because he's just not your typical fighter, you know? And so obviously all the questions we want to know, a lot of times he doesn't really give a shit about the answers. It's not that he doesn't want to answer it, it's he just doesn't care.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I respect that as well because it's nice. I mean, as you said, and as we were talking about, MMA is such a massive focus in my life. Literally everything I do is around MMA. There's a couple of things that aren't, but generally 98% of it is all MMA. He goes, trains, fights, kicks ass, wins money, and disappears, goes back to the fire station. That must be really nice.
Yeah, he's so insulated. And it's very it's on purpose, but he just doesn't consume himself with it. He goes, trains, and when he's not in practice, he doesn't really focus too much on it. You know what I mean? I kind of envy that a little bit.
It's going to be an interesting clash of styles. I mean, obviously, it just got announced last week. That was the fight that everyone was hoping. I think that was the fight that everyone wanted to see when Jones made his debut at heavyweight. But now there's a little more sauce on it now. Jones is the champ. He just got voted as the fighter of the year. And Stipe is the heavyweight GOAT. So that's going to be massive, man. Massive.
Yeah.
And we're planning
at Madison Square Garden, too. That's huge. It's different.
Garden.
Fights are different there.
And we are trying to do a live Believe You Me podcast in New York. Harrington, show yourself. I'm assuming you've booked the venue, wrote the theme tune, got the flyers, built a website, spoke to Ticketmaster. Tickets are on sale, right?
Okay, so look, do or do not. There is no try. We're not trying to do a live show. We are doing a live show. I believe it would be November 10th then. The fight is the 11th. It did mess me up because all the venues I was talking to, I gave them the different date. So I have to go back with them and figure that out. But I guarantee we'll have a venue locked down very shortly here, and tickets will be on sale. Super excited.
Stay tuned and stay posted. By the way, you look very smooth. I was only joking. You look cool, man. You look cool. Obviously, talking about Francis Ngannou, that fight with Tyson Fury now has been made official. Yeah. It wasn't made official on Monday, right, when we spoke about this?
I don't think so.
And initially, there was talk of an exhibition bout. That's why last week I'm like, well, that's ridiculous. The only reason I said it was ridiculous because what does that prove? Why are two heavyweights going to fight in an exhibition bout? They're both in the prime. One's the champ. No one wants to see an exhibition bout. But it's 12 rounds, professional rules, knockouts allowed. And apparently I'm hearing Francis is going to get somewhere around $30 million.
Jesus. Good for him. Good for him.
Good for him indeed.
Good for I mean, I still kind of stand by what I think as far as the fight goes, but $30 million, he would never have to do anything again.
And he's already probably done very well as well.
Yeah. I mean, $30 million, that's life-changing, obviously. That's generational wealth. You don't have to do shit.
Yep. Especially if you have someone that looks after it properly. But and on top of everything else and the PFL stuff, so good for him, man. I'm really, really happy for him. I saw yesterday there was what do you call it? The lottery, but it's the Mega Millions or something.
It's like 700 million or something.
785 million. I think someone won it, and they had a financial advisor saying what you need to do is make no visible life changes. I'm like, you're out of your goddamn mind.
You're out of your fucking mind.
If I win 700 and something million dollars, you think I'm still going to work on Monday? You think I'm still driving the same car, wearing the same clothes, living in the same house? No.
No, I seen where the Powerball was at, and I started shopping. Like I was looking at boats and yachts and shit online because there's that yacht that's it's owned by Philip Green. It's the name is Lionheart. It's like a $125 million yacht. I'm like looking through it, like I wonder what I could get this off of him for. You know, I have the money. Like I'm already shopping and looking at shit I would buy.
When I was a kid, we would go for walks with my dad. And I always remember this because when you're very young, you know, your mind and your imagination is incredible. And in England, it used to be called the pools. And, there was like $1 million or $2 million, whatever, pounds, should I say. And we would go on these long walks on like a Friday evening, and we would talk about my dad would talk about what we would do if we won the pools. And, when you're like 4 or 5 years old, you're like, wow, good memories. Hope you're well, Dad, because you listen to the show every single week. Harrington put something in the chat there. Super yacht. Yeah, bollocks to that. Kevin Lee retired. Kevin Lee retired on Monday following the loss to Fakhretdinov. I mean, he did get smoked, sadly. I don't like saying that. I was really, really excited for the return of Kevin Lee. He's talked like he'd matured. He's still a young man. Physically, he was always fantastic. Technically, he was great. But he would kind of, I don't know, some things would go wrong. He'd gas, he'd make mistakes. He wouldn't pace himself correctly. I was super excited. I'm kind of shocked that he's hanging up the gloves.
I am too. I feel like it does feel like it's out of frustration, because he's just not finding the success that he knows he's capable of. But at the end of the day, maybe that's just the whole issue, is that he's not able to replicate the success that he's having in the gym. And that's sadly a problem that a lot of people have.
It's a massive problem. It's one of the biggest problems. Simple as that, it's hard doing it on the night. It's a shame though, isn't it? It is a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Because he's so talented.
And he's such a good guy. I like Kevin.
I do too. I was so happy to see him in the makeup chair at the Apex when he was getting ready to do his media and Chris was doing his makeup. And I was like, man, it felt good to see him in a Venom, UFC uniform. Yeah. So it just sucks.
Because he's got superstar qualities as well. He's good on the microphone. He looks good. His physique's great. He's got a flashy style. I mean, remember that knockout of Gregor Gillespie?
Yeah,
one of the best knockouts. Harrington, do we have a quote at all from Kevin Lee? I mean, did he make a statement or did he just kind of do it low-key type thing?
No, I have it here. He posted a video on his Instagram. He said, to make a long story short, I've decided to retire from MMA and the UFC. It's been 12 long years of me being the best fighter that I can be. A lot of hard work, a lot of dedication for me to be the best fighter in the world. When I look back on it, I had a hell of a career, fought a lot of the top guys and some of the toughest guys in the world. I've always put up a great fight. I never backed down, and I always challenged myself to do things, and I didn't think I was capable of doing. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, again, fair play to him and good luck with the rest of your life. And you know what? I think it takes a lot of self-realization, Anthony, to come to a point, because I'm not sure without looking at his Wikipedia or whatever. I think he's around 29, 30 years old.
Yeah, he's young.
So he's still a young man. So that means he can still go off and do many, many different things. Life can take you on so many different adventures. You never know where you're going to end up. I mean, if you'd have said to me, and I'm sure you feel the same way, that we'd be doing this, fighting in the UFC, doing a podcast, working for the UFC, I'd be acting, whatever. You never know where life is going to take you, and having the realization to say, you know what, as much as I love it and as much as I'm talented, I can't put the pieces together on fight night. So I'm going to take my skills, not my fight skills. I'm going to take my brain, my mind, my personality, my networking skills, my people skills, and I'm going to go and do something else, because that, sadly, isn't working out, and I commend that.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of us, there's a lot of fighters out there that, maybe they've made those realizations, the same ones that Kevin has had, that is making himself, and they don't have anything else to fall back on, or they don't have the confidence to get out of it and try something else, because maybe this is all they know. So he talked a lot about maturity, and maybe this is him being mature and saying, this isn't working out. I need to, I need to take a step back and start looking other places. I'm still young and I could still build another empire doing something else. So I do, it's got to be a tough decision to make, because it's all he's done for a long time.
Because let's be honest, there's a lot of promotions out there. If Kevin Lee did want to take his skills elsewhere, I don't think the UFC let him go. This is his own thing. But he could always make money as being Kevin Lee. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And he can still beat a lot of people, I'd say. I mean, that guy that beat him, keep an eye out.
He's good. Guy. Yeah. That's a tough matchup to come back on, too. I wish they would have given him an easier one. Not an easier one, but it's one thing to, obviously he's super skilled. So they could have given him a more favorable matchup to ease his way back in. Because when you're not fighting in the UFC for a long time, sometimes you forget the level that you're at.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So all the best to Kevin. You know, on a similar note, I'm not sure if I mentioned it. Callum just recently retired from wrestling because of all the injuries, and he was kind of down. I'm like, dude, don't be down. You did that. It opened a lot of doors for you. Just I'm sure the same with Kevin and a lot of people. Take the positives from what you do, from the experiences that you have in life, and then use them to try and springboard you into something else. I'm like, son, this is great. Now you can get on with the rest of your life. Now you can get on with being Callum Bisping, the person, not the wrestler. Now you can get a fucking job and start helping pay your own goddamn rent. How about that? Which he is doing, and I'm excited for him, you know, so good luck.
What kind of jobs is he looking at? What's he trying to do?
Well, he's doing a master's degree in business marketing. So he's looking at stuff like that. But right now, he's just trying to get a part-time job doing anything, Whole Foods, stacking shelves, whatever, just to get some income coming in. And he's also applied for a bunch of internships and things like that. So all the best to him. The BMF title's on the line soon, Anthony. I'm not sure if you're aware of this.
I am. I'm excited about that fight. I'm really
Salt Lake
excited.
City, Utah. You been there?
Yeah, I was there at the last Salt Lake City card when Leon Edwards knocked out Kamaru Usman.
Are you working this one?
I am.
Salt Lake City. Talk to me about. I've been there one time when a flight got delayed and I missed my connecting flight and I had to spend the night there. It's a peculiar place, no?
It's a strange place. Lots of nice people. It was really funny. I went to dinner with Tate. You know, everyone knows the cut man Tate. Went to dinner with Tate, and he's just, you know how obnoxious he is. He's just walking around talking about how there's not enough black folks, and he was just,
oh god.
But everyone was super nice.
This city's racist.
They
Everyone
stopped selling alcohol
the color
like
that
10.
they are.
Like that was me and Anik were walking around trying to find somewhere to get a beer or something after the event, but they stopped selling alcohol everywhere at like 10 or 10:30. So that was tough, but yeah, it's a different type of place. Nice people, really pretty.
Yeah, look. And they have a hell of a fight card. Justin Poirier.
They got a couple good ones. Last year, the last one was pretty good too. I don't know why Salt Lake City keeps getting these good ass fight cards, but
Justin versus Dustin, that's going to be wild. And now apparently Jorge Masvidal will be the one to go in the octagon and wrap the belt around them.
What if it's Gaethje that wins though?
Well, what's the issue there?
Well, Masvidal's teammates with Dustin. So when he was talking about it in a couple interviews before, he was saying, oh, you know, I respect both those guys, but Dustin's my teammate. I think he's going to go out there and essentially smoke Gaethje.
So you think Masvidal already in his mind thinks, yeah, it's all well and good. Dustin beat him one time, he'll beat him again. So I'll put it around my buddy. But you reckon he doesn't do it? If Justin Gaethje beats his boy, you think Masvidal will say, nah, no way, I ain't doing that. Because he's kind of street and he's a man of principles.
He's a man of principle and he's loyal. I don't see, if his boy gets beat, I don't see Masvidal walking up there and putting the belt on Gaethje. I just hilarious. Don't see it.
I respect it. So basically saying that if Dustin wins, I'll do it. If not, Dana, come on. In fact, where's the Rock at? Get the Rock. Come on.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. If Gaethje happens to win, I don't think Masvidal's going to put the belt on him.
Who do you think wins? I mean, not official prediction, but early thoughts, obviously, without analyzing them too much. I mean, they're both great. They're both fantastic.
I mean, I'm leaning, to be honest, I'm leaning a little bit Gaethje. Even though Dustin won the first, Dustin's great too. It's just Gaethje, when he really wants to fight, like when he really wants to focus in on a game plan and stay disciplined and he's focused on growing, he's dangerous, man. The fight with Fiziev, it is a fight that the old Gaethje, you know, a couple of years ago loses because he's going to go out there and swing for the fences, but he fought to a game plan. He was very persistent. He fought safe. His hands were tight. He fought a masterful fight versus Fiziev. If that Gaethje shows up, I think Dustin Poirier has a tough time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I called that Fiziev fight, and Gaethje was phenomenal, and the boxing was so crisp, and the adjustments that he made throughout the fight. It's nothing against Dustin, because Dustin's incredible in his own right as well. I mean, the boxing on display when he fought Michael Chandler was fantastic. But the Justin Gaethje that beat Fiziev, I struggle to make an argument for someone beating that man because he was just on fire. The punches were so fast and crisp. The combinations were ridiculous. You know what it means? We're in for a goddamn treat. I can't wait.
For a good fight.
Justin and Dustin, they are two of the most exciting on the roster. They bring it every single time. Throw Michael Chandler in the mix. Who would you say are the 5 most exciting fighters?
Just in the whole UFC?
Yeah, the whole of the UFC. I think we're going to go Justin, Dustin. They're in, right? For
Yeah,
sure.
they're in.
Chandler, Oliveira.
We're all lightweights.
They're all fucking lightweights. You might even throw in McGregor, to be fair.
Yeah, he's in good fights. I've never been in a boring one.
Yeah, no,
win, lose, or draw, he's in good fights.
And he brings the excitement. So are we saying they're the most exciting fighters in the UFC? Are we signing off on that? Justin, Dustin.
Yeah, you can't.
Chandler, Oliveira.
I can't think of 3 or 4 people that are more exciting than those guys.
Harrington, come on and show yourself. Let's have a debate on this, please. You don't have to just annoy me in the chat and send it through.
Sorry about that.
Stuff that make no sense to me. I'm like, there's a link. I don't know what the link is unless I click it. I mean, we've got Alex Pereira's pretty exciting.
Yeah, Pereira's pretty exciting. Just kind of. I mean, if we're talking like just the 125-pound fight we just seen, like Brandon Moreno's got to be on there. I mean, he's always. No, Pantoja's in pretty good fights, but Moreno's always in those kind of fights.
I was going to say Khamzat. I feel like there's just something in the air when that guy fights where it's like you can't take your eyes off the screen.
Khamzat versus Joe Mearshart was exciting.
Yep, for all 19 seconds that it lasted. Yeah.
That was exciting. It was a back and forth exciting battle.
It got me off my couch going.
The Kevin Holland fight got you off your couch.
Wow.
Yes, of course.
Go after him, Anthony. The man's clearly drunk.
Gilbert Burns versus Khamzat is to me the fight of the year last year.
That's a great fight. That I will agree with you. But is that more Gilbert or is that Khamzat?
I mean, I think
you have offended Anthony.
I'm not offended. I'm not offended.
Okay.
I just disagree that I think Khamzat's been in one very, very exciting fight, and I think that maybe it had more to do with Gilbert and less to do with Khamzat.
All right. Let's play a different game. Give one. Name your most exciting fighter.
The most exciting fighter
right now.
I would, in my opinion, I would say Justin Gaethje is the most exciting fighter in my opinion.
Herringbone.
I'm going to say
you got to say
Sergey
because you've been
Sergey Pavlovich. Sergey Pavlovich.
Wild card. I like it. Dude,
that is a 265-pounder who can put out anyone with one shot.
Okay, but I look at
perfect English.
I would look at Pavlovich as someone who's supremely skilled and dangerous. I just don't know if I would say he's crazy exciting.
All right, fair enough.
My votes, I would say Michael Chandler.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? I mean, he doesn't always win. He can wrestle, but he bloody brings it. I think in the past it would have been McGregor. And I think if he was fighting a little bit more frequently, because you got to be honest, McGregor brings it and the excitement and the build-up and all the rest of it. And the sport is a better place. Speaking of which, Harrington, you put something in the notes about McGregor tweeting and deleting, which is his speciality, let's be honest.
That is what he does. I believe it was like the Santa emoji or something like that. But he made a tweet in reference to the idea that he would be back in December to fight Michael Chandler. When he was asked for a Mystic Mac prediction of how it'll go down, he said, he was going to torture him for 2 rounds and then take him to the third and torture him and then I guess finish him in the third.
Well, the fight's going to happen. That's for damn sure.
I hope so.
Same. I mean, that's two of the most exciting. I mean, it'll be massive. You see that McGregor's now Chandler's undefeated. I haven't been watching. I've been keeping up with the highlights and the headlines. 7-0 now.
Yeah, that's.
And Chandler's getting a little chirpy. He's talking a bit of shit.
They said that McGregor asked what happens if it's a clean sweep for Team Chandler, and the UFC's response was, "We don't know because it's never happened."
Yeah, no. McGregor went up today and was like leaning over the octagon. He's like, so what happens? What happens if it's a clean sweep? Then he's like, I don't know. It's never happened. Because what that means.
How many fights are left?
I don't know. I'd say if it gets to the semifinals, though, that's 4 people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So if they're all on Team Chandler, I mean, McGregor can just put his feet up, have a beer, and just watch the fights. No, I think what happened. I think what's happened in the past, they've Chandler gets to choose who he wants to keep and puts the other two over to Team McGregor. I think I seem to remember, because when I was doing UK versus USA, not bragging, but we whooped your asses majorly. Come on. And we had it wasn't a clean sweep, but there was definitely, it was lopsided. So we did something like that then. Okay. Oh yeah, we were one win away from being a clean sweep. Harrington, you're American. Have a bit of national pride for crying
Harrington,
out loud.
jump on here and tell Mike to fuck off and stop talking all that shit.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. You said Harrington.
1776, baby. Woo!
Yeah. Woo. Woo. I want to take a quick second to shout out an old friend that has come back to BYM, Choq. That is CHOQ.com. It's been a while since we had an all-natural supplement here, believe you me, and our friends at Choq are back. They are the only natural supplements worthy of the believe you me stamp of approval. Sometimes people that eat well, train hard, they're in good shape, they don't see the need for supplements. But the thing is, you got to take advantage of every natural advantage that one can get. Reality is men's testosterone levels are at an all-time low. And not a day goes by that I don't see someone that's had a bad diet, maybe early on in life, or perhaps they have low levels of testosterone naturally. They could use a boost, right? And as you're getting older, you need a boost. And you can give yourself a natural boost via a variety of ways. And Choq has created a new natural testosterone booster that's taken the sports, nutrition, and natural health world by storm. And I prefer Choq for several reasons. Look, listen, there's lots of crap out there, right? There's weak, trashy, dirty supplements. But the people at Choq are proud to stand above the rest in clean, pure, and healthy products, okay? If you check out all the labeling, it's clear. They use full disclosure labeling. You know exactly what's going in. There's no label fluffing or anything like that. And everything's measured to exact clinical research. Choq Daily is the cleanest research-based testosterone booster available on the market. And along with Choq Daily, be sure to check out the Male Vitality Stack and the Stack Ultra. So what are you waiting for? Get yourself in shape. Give yourself the energy. Go to Choq, CHOQ.com. Choq.com. Use the promo code Bisping. Get 35% off your entire order. Get off with a bang. Get that testosterone boosted. Choq.com. You'll thank me later. CHOQ.com. Code is Bisping for a massive 35% off. All right, what should we talk about? Should we do a non-MMA? Harrington, give us a good non-MMA. In fact, let's talk about this Jonah Hill thing. You put it in the notes. Yeah. I never thought about it. But last week, there was a story going around about Jonah Hill apparently abusing his girlfriend. Harrington, you have the headline. You put it in the notes. You break the news or tell the story.
So it's his ex-girlfriend who's a professional surfer, and she shared some screenshots of text messages that he had sent her. They included don't take pictures with other guys. Please delete any Instagram photos you have of you in revealing clothing or showing your butt or anything like that. He was trying to be, they're accusing him of being very controlling of her social media presence. And she was arguing she's a professional surfer trying to get her career off the ground. And his rules were restricting her. He, just went on the side of, this is what I'm asking for in a partner. And if that's not you, then let's leave as friends.
Right. Terrible job. Love you, brother. Really do. And you're lucky fly for a white guy. But you didn't report that well. He said, plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, a boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, you need to model and post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit and post sexual style pictures, and friendships with women who are in an unstable place from your wild recent past, then perhaps this relationship isn't going to work out. And I read that and I thought that was a very measured, calm approach to say, look, listen, here's the way I am, right? And here's what I really don't tolerate from behavior in women. And the choice is yours, And I think that's fair enough. I don't see how that's abusive.
In that text thread, I didn't see anything that was very out of pocket. Now, whether you can agree or disagree on the things that he, the things that he wants or doesn't want, that's a whole different argument. But it's the way that he went about it. He was very clear. I don't like this, 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 and this. And if you don't like that, then it's not like he here's what you have to do, and you're stuck in this relationship no matter what. It was like, there's the door. If you don't like it, that's totally fine. And the way that he stated it, like the boundaryless relationships with men, I don't see an issue with that. We all know what it's like if your girlfriend or your wife has a friend who's just an absolute basket case and is just fucking everybody's lives up. You probably don't want her hanging out with her all the time. And
Definitely
it's the same.
Not.
Your wife's like we don't all have friends where your wife is like, you act like a fucking idiot when you're with that guy. So I understand that.
That's all of my friends.
Right. And I don't necessarily listen. I'm a pretty I don't know. My wife's pretty, I don't know. It's different. Like I don't think I'd be
Rebecca has no friends. She doesn't want friends. She's just a homebody.
Well,
So
I don't think I would be super
issue.
cool with like my wife posting pictures of her ass on Instagram either.
No. Sorry. The rest, it only showed a little bit because the way the message ends, really, I don't see how anyone has a problem with this. He says, blah, 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 beyond your, hold on. If you want to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past, beyond getting lunch or coffee or something respectful, if that's what you want, I am not the right partner for you. If those things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there are no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnerships. My boundaries with you are based on the way these actions have hurt our trust. I think he's just stating his case. Mm-hmm. I think I've never used a dating app. I've never been on these websites, but I think on those websites you can type of girl you're looking for, type of things you like, type of morals and expectations, if you will. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but have you ever used a dating app? No,
I've been with Michaela way before dating apps ever started. She has a couple friends that, like back in the day where they would have like a Tinder profile or something. So I'd grab one of her friends' phones and start swiping through, and just because it was funny. But no, I don't even know how those things work.
No, these guys these days, they got it easy because I've been around friends, you know what I mean? And they're getting busy. Any city they're in, they just boom, and that's someone crazy. Shows up. Harrington and Brian, have you two ever forayed into the dating app world?
I've never had a dating app installed on anything that I own. I just meet girls through my friends like normal people.
But there's nothing wrong with dating apps. I think in this day and age,
I don't think so either.
I have no issue. Brian, Harrington?
Oh, I've had plenty of success on dating apps. I mean, when you're homeless, they just swipe till you find a bed for the night.
Dirty Mike and the boys. There it is. Oh dear. What's the big MMA news right now, Harrington? Let's have a look. Masvidal. Kamaru Usman. He said he stormed into Dana's office. You probably saw this story. For anyone that hasn't, he said he went into Dana's office and said, basically, if Khamzat wants to fight, then they'll fight. He said, hey, if you want to fight, cut the weight and let's fight. Be disciplined. He doesn't want to do that anymore. He's got money. He's living life. He's living good. He doesn't want to cut the weight. He wants to eat and he wants to move goalposts for him. You want to be the champion. This is the gold standard right here. Cut the weight. Let's make it happen. If you want the fight, cut the weight and let's fight. But stop using my name for clout. Of course, Khamzat came back and said, oh, you're the bogeyman. I am the wolf. Boars. What do you think?
I don't think they're going to fight. Because it doesn't sound like Khamzat's coming to one. I don't think he can make 170. And I don't think maybe it's not that he can't. It doesn't seem like he wants to. And I don't think Kamaru's going to 185. So I think they should both move on.
I respect Kamaru Usman so much for taking that fight because he loses 2 fights to Leon back to back, loses the belt, loses the rematch, loses the pound for pound status. You know what I mean? And this sport's fickle. You're on top of the world 1 minute, and then they move on and they forget the next. He comes back and faces Khamzat Chimaev, which, let's be honest, is a tough match for anyone, right? Yeah. And Usman getting a little bit older, and I thought he looked a little slower in that last fight. He comes back, he fights Khamzat, he loses that fight. Then the narrative is, well, maybe he should hang up the gloves. Khamzat beats Usman. If they were to fight at 170, hypothetically, he's right there for a title fight then.
Yeah, he's next in line.
100%. But I don't think Kamaru would generate a title fight if he was to beat Khamzat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe not with 2 losses back to back. It would take at least one more, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, but I do respect him.
Me too.
Who would you like to see Khamzat face? Because it sounds like he's going to be at 185, and I know some little details from some people, but I'm not saying it. I have no idea about fights or anything like that, but just about the weight cuts. He's big right now, is what I'm referring to. He's nowhere near 170, apparently. So he's going to be 185. Him coming up to 185, fighting in Abu Dhabi. I'm assuming that's where he's going to fight. Ideally, who would you like to see him against?
There seems like there's been some hints online about him fighting Cannonier.
I saw something about that yesterday, actually.
Yeah, it was maybe one of his coaches was doing some film study, and he had blurred out part of the fighter and said sitting there looking at a film of Khamzat's next opponent. And then you know how Twitter is. The Twitter sleuths went online, and they were able to see part of a leg and the logos, and they matched up the exact second of a Cannonier fight. And it looks like it looks like they were watching Cannonier. I mean, the person
that they were watching was holding the stones and doing the signs like this and harnessing the energy from the universe.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that guy. But yeah, I got excited about it when it was kind of hinted at that's going to be the fight. It made me excited. I like that fight.
What was Cannonier's last fight? Just remind me. He got a win, right? Who was it?
Oh,
I know he fought Strickland.
Our friend Marvin.
Oh, yeah, and then Marvin, yeah. Oof, God, and that was a good showing.
Yeah.
It really was. I mean, that's a great fight. I mean, Jared Cannonier, is one of the top guys.
Yeah.
Khamzat Chimaev. I mean, again, it's kind of like the Bo Nickel situation, because Bo Nickel now, I think, is going to struggle to get fights, right? Because either you're going to get smoked or you're going to give up your ranking that you've worked your ass off for. And it's kind of similar for Khamzat. Khamzat comes in there. You know what I mean? He just if he beats you, he's probably going to just work towards getting a title fight. But other people might not be in that situation. They might have fought for the belt, like a Marvin Vettori wouldn't be there. Jared Cannonier probably wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? Who else is there? Robert Whittaker certainly wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And Bo Nickel, he's calling out Khamzat. Did you see that?
I did. Which wrestling right now, he's nowhere close. Yeah, Khamzat would smoke him right now. But
I'm just getting the quote. Carry on.
Once he figures out the striking and how to be safe there, and I don't know, it gets his MMA entries a little bit better on his takedowns. I think that's a great fight. Right now, I think Khamzat dispatches him. Yeah, dispatches him pretty quickly.
He said, this is Bo Nickel. I would like to fight Khamzat at 85. I'll get a couple more fights. My goal, Khamzat, has always been the Allegiant Stadium. Sell it out for the belt and blow the roof off the place when I smash that guy. I think it's going to take a little more time to build my reputation and get to where I want to be. And for him to get where he needs to be in order to make that fight what it deserves, and give it the atmosphere that it deserves. Hey, listen, fair play. Set your stall high. And he's absolutely right, because he needs, if we're talking Allegiant Stadium in Vegas, that's never been done before.
Yeah.
It would be unbelievable, though. Have you seen that stadium?
I've seen it, never on the inside. I've seen it from the outside.
Yeah. I just drive past it all the time. But I've seen the clips. Have you seen the clips of Bruce? Brian, see if you can find Brian, find one of these. Bruce Buffer announcing at the Allegiant Stadium. Oh my God. Because for those people that don't know, it looks like the Death Star. It's beautiful. It's a big, huge black thing in Vegas with screens all over it. It's massive. And then Buffer, he's on this like ramp as if you're like walking out for a fight. And there's, I don't know, 80,000 people, and Buffer go, it's time, and the crowds are losing their mind. My God,
I'd love to be there just for that.
Yeah,
I'd love to see Buffer announce the Raiders. It would be.
Here we go.
Awesome.
We got it in the chat there. Brian Harrington stuck it in the chat. Look at this. I mean, that's the stadium. Oh, there's Buffer. I can hear him.
What an awesome stadium.
All right. It's okay. The view I saw was like from behind Buffer or in his, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and then the camera shows. I mean, it's cool to see it on screen, of course. You get the idea. But when you see it from Buffer's perspective up high and all the crowds and the cheering and like the smoke and the lasers.
What a life Bruce Buffer's living.
Bruce is the man.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Life. It's crazy. I'd love to live Bruce's life for like a week, or just to shadow him for a week to see what his life looks like.
Bruce Buffer will announce the UFC until the day he dies.
Yeah, he'll probably die in the octagon in the middle of it.
I mean, the way because he lets it go, man. I mean, the energy and the boom from his voice, and you see, and like the veins are popping out of his neck. Mm-hmm. You never know.
And the passion.
That might be the way he goes.
That'd be the way he would choose to go, I would imagine.
100%. 100%. I mean, you know the story of Bruce Buffer. I mean, you probably, here we go. Here's another angle. He's got the Raiders jacket on. Go on, Bruce. He's the man. You know, Bruce Buffer is the perfect gentleman. He is, though. He's such a great guy. So nice and kind and polite. As I say, he's an absolute gentleman. And Michael Buffer is his brother, as you know, of course. Isn't that just insane? He's the biggest thing crazy. In the UFC. Michael Buffer's the biggest thing in boxing. They were separated at birth, I think, or something like that.
Yeah,
they were
like early.
lost brothers.
Yeah. And they both just happen to be doing the same shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely insane. Chito Vera's got a new fight.
Yeah, I see that.
Versus Pedro Munoz.
Yeah.
Munoz. What do you think?
It's a tough fight. Pedro Munoz is tough for anybody. He was winning that O'Malley fight too up until the eye poke.
Don't say that to Sean O'Malley.
What's he gonna do? Beat me up? It's the truth. I'm not saying he was gonna go on and beat O'Malley, but he was winning the fight up until the no contest happened. But Munoz is tough for anybody. I think it's a good matchup for Chito, though. I think stylistically it favors Chito.
Did you see? I agree. I think it's a great fight stylistically. I think it's better for Chito because of the lack of the wrestling. Not that Munoz or Pedro can't take him down and Pedro can't, grapple. Of course he can. But, we're talking Cejudo. We're talking an Olympic gold medalist, and so
it's different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. John Anik had some choice words to say about Henry Cejudo pulling out of that fight. Did you happen to see those?
I didn't. I did not.
Yeah. I saw something on his podcast. He was kind of having a go at Henry Cejudo because he kind of felt like he was going to pull out. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally butchering that. But what did you make of Cejudo pulling out?
I felt like he was coming back a little bit rushed. I was actually surprised from the very beginning that he took a fight with Chito because Henry's always been the type of guy that just wants big fights and things. And as much as we love Chito, he's obviously very, very popular, but he's not like that kind of superstar opponent that I feel like Henry Cejudo thinks that he deserves. So I was super happy for Chito to be able to get that fight because that's a good bump in popularity for Chito, especially to get a win over a guy like Cejudo was cool. But I kind of have a similar sentiment, like even when it was announced, like, but is he really though? Is he really going to fight him? I didn't feel like it was real. Yeah.
Well, anyway, regardless, the fight isn't happening now, and Chito versus Pedro Munoz is. Love Chito. I saw him at the airport Sunday morning. Me, Perillo, and Chito all flew back together, had a little beer at the airport. Nice. Not Chito. He was on coffee. Obviously, he's training hard for a fight. He's coming back after a loss. You're coming back. Your fight's coming up soon, Anthony. How are you feeling? How's training camp going? I see you're at home. I see you got the bits and bobs.
Yeah, I'm home with the bits and bobs. I'm actually working the desk this weekend. Which is
Holly Holm and Maria Bueno Silva. Yep. So it'll be fun. I'm going to do some training in Vegas too. So it's nice to just get in there with a different group of guys. I feel really good though. I don't want to oversell it. I feel good. We're kind of addressing some things that I feel like is doing really, really well. So we'll just have to fucking go back and try it again and see how it works. What is the mindset coming into this one? I don't mean the mindset in terms of game plan and all the rest of it, but like, are you doing any work with Mark Montoya? You're talking about, your feelings and your confidence levels and all those type of things. Because as we said before, we were talking about some fighters that can't get the job done on the night. I'm not saying you're one of them, but the mind, that's what affects them. You know what I mean? Like in terms of confidence and all around well-being and mental health as a fighter, are you doing anything to address that stuff?
Yeah, I'm just trying to fix the problems. I think that's where my confidence comes from, is just knowing that I put the work in. It's nice that I've already done a training camp for Ryan Spann, so we don't have to really overthink it. It's just, I'm just not worried about him at all. And I'm just going to, not at all. I'm going to do my, we haven't even spoken about anything about Ryan Spann the entire time. Me and Mark are 2.5 weeks in, 3 weeks in. We haven't spoken about him for a second. He's just worried about where I'm making the mistakes. How do I fix those mistakes? And let's continue to drill it. And then we fix it, we critique it, or we, just fine tune it a little bit. And then we go back in there, kind of in like a more of a live situation with some of the really good guys in the gym. And then we see how it works. I'm like, all right, well, let's try this just a little bit different. And then we go back in. It's just, that's all I've been doing. It's just drilling, fine tuning, and then fight it out and see how it works. And if it doesn't work, we come back, we do it again. But I feel like I've got the answer. I feel really good about it. I don't want to in my head, I'm like, I got it fixed. Like, I think we got it fixed. But, I could say that and then go in there and fight and look like a fucking idiot. So.
Yeah, against Ryan Spann, though, there's not much to fix there, because the last time out, what was it? 45 seconds? 2 minutes?
It was 2 minutes, something like that. Yeah, it was quick.
It was pretty quick.
But
the fight
he's the perfect opponent, though, for the mindset that I'm in. He's super dangerous, man. He's crazy dangerous, insanely powerful, really athletic, big dude. When he believes in himself and his mental game is on, he's a motherfucker to deal with. But there's not any spot where I need to be super, super mindful. It's not like he's a world champion jiu-jitsu guy or he's a world champion kickboxer. He's just really good everywhere. So I don't have to really focus on anything specifically. I just need to keep sharpening my tools and really closing the holes. Because if I don't close those holes, I'm not going to get to the spots to be offensive. That's been my problem the last couple of fights, is some of my defensive issues are making it to where I can't even be offensive. You know what I mean? I'm not even able to. Johnny Walker kicked me in the leg 3 times, and I was, he did a great job, but he attacked my leg and kind of just drove a truck through that tendency in that hole. And so I was never able to get on my game. He kept me in neutral. So I got to fix that shit first.
Well, I mean, when you look at the history between the two of you, it's Ryan Spann that needs to make some changes, right? I mean, you did your job phenomenally. What do you think he's going to do different? And again, looking, because obviously you lost to Johnny Walker and what was it, Magomed Ankalaev. What do you think he's going to do?
Well, I would imagine that his team is very smart, safe. I got a lot of respect for that guy.
Great coach.
If I'm fighting me, up until this point, I haven't addressed the leg kicks. So there's no reason for them not to attack the leg kicks. It's a clear hole. And it goes deeper than the leg kicks. If you attack my leg, where am I most dangerous? It's when I'm walking people down and then I get people circling the outside of the cage. If you get me running downhill a little bit and I'm just walking you down the whole time, there's no one that's going to beat me when I'm in my zone. But if you attack my leg, I got a really good jab. So people have figured out over the last 3 or 4 fights, the way to kill my jab is to attack my lead leg when I'm jabbing. So then if I don't get my jab going, my offensive game is kind of built around establishing my jab first. If I can't ever establish my jab, I never get out of first gear. I'm kind of stuck. So if I was them, I would probably work on attacking the leg. I'd probably stay off the ground with me if I was him. Because it didn't go well at all for him at all. And you can feel the difference. When you're a fighter, you can tell how far ahead someone is from you. And on the flip side, you can tell how far away someone is from you when you're the dominant one. So he hasn't had enough time to close that gap. He's going to have to keep his chin down and not get wild. I'm sure that, because even on the interviews afterwards, they had a lot of emphasis on, they thought that the reason he got caught is because he kind of freaks out at certain points. He's not very good at being patient. And once he freaks out, the guys at the top of the division are going to start picking him apart. And that's what happened. So he's going to want to stay calm. He's going to attack my leg. They're going to try to address the jab and stay off the ground, I would imagine.
Do you adjust your stance at all? I mean, obviously you're putting a big focus on defending leg kicks. You have mentioned it several times that's what you've identified that as a potential issue.
For sure.
So what does that look like in the room? when you're training? Is it just, drilling, checking leg kicks a lot? Do you change
No, because
your
that's what we've
stance?
done up to this point is just really worked on checking the leg kicks. And that's the problem. I check them in the gym always. I rarely get kicked clean in the gym by really good kickers too, like Dustin Jacoby. Even we spent weeks just working with Chris Gutierrez, who's probably the best leg kicker in the entire UFC, in my opinion. And it was going really well. And then, I just don't do it when I fight. But some of it's changing my mechanics, some of it's changing my movement, some of it's changing just my balance points and my stance,
Well, I was going to say, is your lead foot turned in like a boxer? Do you have it straight forward?
It's usually straight. It's generally straightforward. Yeah.
So then that's easier to check a leg kick.
For sure.
Mark Montoya is your main pad man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does he put a shin pad on and mix in some leg kicks?
He's a fantastic. Fantastic kicker. He's a huge problem in practice. He's really good. The issue is, even if I check, and I'll just be honest, like I don't think that at this point it's a secret. Even if I'm checking low kicks, my leg can't take the damage. So if I check and I do everything 100% correctly, it's still, I've taken so many leg kicks over my career that taking a calf kick or taking a kick below my knee to that meat of the muscle in the front of my shin, I can only take about one or two of those clean before I'm compromised in the fight.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because not just talking about you, just generally, when it comes to, I just pushed a button there and everything changed on my bloody screen, this bloody computer. Generally when it comes to leg kicks, and we're talking above the knee, thighs, traditional old school leg kicks, the more you kick that bad boy, it's just going to go duller and duller and duller, and you can take kicks all day long.
I can take kicks up there all day.
Daz Morris, my guy, like when we were hitting pads and stuff, he would just say, kick me in the leg as hard as you can. I'm like, Daz, stop. That's nonsense. He'd say, would you go on? Kick me. So you give him a kick. And like, yeah, it doesn't bother me. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't kick you as hard as I could. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not a dick. He's like, well, just kick me as hard as you can. I'm like, but I'm not a dick. Do you know what I mean? But I like, can you just put a pad on your leg? And he's like, well, just kick it as hard as you can. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, back to the original point. So you're saying below the calf kick, below the knee,
that's where the problem
responds differently.
I don't know if it's like that for everybody, but I've noticed that over the last handful of years, I just can't. I don't take them as well as I used to. Even when Rakic dropped me in the very beginning of our fight with he hit me with 3 leg kicks in a row, like low calf kicks.
That's right. I remember.
I checked the first 2 clean, and they still put me down. So it's not even a question of checking anymore. It's I have to figure out how to completely avoid it. And that's where I think that and actually it's really seeming to like figuring that out is helping my game a lot. And it's opening up a lot of other things. So it's been kind of fun.
And obviously you broke the ankle. It was the ankle, right? Or the bottom of the leg?
Yeah, bottom of the leg, ankle. Same
Do you
thing.
think that's related at all or no?
No, because it was like that before. It was just, I think as my style has evolved, I didn't used to get kicked very much. And then once I started changing the style and trying to be a little bit more sneaky and elusive and a little bit more movement based and footwork based, I started getting kicked more. And then I kind of started going back to some other things that I did and really sticking my jab. But the game is so high level and these coaches are so good now. It's not even when people started dealing with my jab, which I was killing people with. Instead of them back in the day, they used to just address it by, okay, we got to work the head movement. We got to work the cover, the parry, the counter. That's how they used to deal with it. Well, I got so good of just weaving and going around, and you'd go jab hook or hook jab and hook uppercut, or, you start playing that game. I can play that game all day. But now the coaching is so good. They're like, okay, we'll just kill his lead leg. Every time he throws that jab, he's got to step deep. He's got to take the range. So then they started killing my jab with the leg kicks.
Oh, 6 weeks, man.
These smart motherfuckers.
How dare they go out there, use their brains and formulate a
How
game
dare they fucking try? This is
so
bullshit.
6 weeks time.
Yeah.
You're in Singapore, Singers.
You're in
I'm
Singapore.
Singers. We're going to do a walk and talk around the bay. Okay. We're going to do that. We're going to do a little walk and talk. How long are you sticking around Singapore for? Because I was supposedly, because Rebecca, because the week after, I'll be in Singapore, the week after I'll be in Paris. Rebecca was going to come to Paris. So Sunday morning after Singapore, I was going to jet right out of there, meet Rebecca in Paris, have a little fucking tourism before I work, and the one. She's not coming now, right? Paris, she's too good for Paris.
Yeah.
Whatever. It is what it is. So I'm going to stick around Singers for a couple of days.
I'm coming straight back.
I'm going to be by myself in Singers.
No, I got a trip already planned.
I'm going to Paris then. You, Anthony.
Why don't you just come to Wyoming?
Singapore, Paris. Well, why don't y'all come to Wyoming, man?
Listen, you can go from Singapore to Wyoming, Wyoming to Paris.
I guarantee there's not a direct flight from Singapore to Wyoming. My God. Singapore to LA, 16 goddamn hours. All right, today's episode is sponsored by True Classic. And True Classic, they have the absolute best fitting t-shirts that a man can buy. Finding the right t-shirt with big old guns or a little bit of a dad bod can be frustrating. Most t-shirts are too tight in the wrong places or they look too big and boxy. And if you're spending countless hours in the gym trying to look good, why not spend 5 minutes trying to get a t-shirt that fits correctly? True Classic has helped over 2 million people finally get a better fit at an affordable price. Our listeners get access to the absolute best deal that they offer, by the way. For a limited time only right now, you get 25% off trueclassic.com by using the code Bisping. Look, girls, they got the push-up bras. Well, now you got the True Classic tees. We want to show off our best assets, but we were never given the right fit to do so. So, fellas, you're wearing the wrong clothes, throw them out. You need True Classic. The tees taper off towards the bottom, but they fit tighter around the chest and shoulders. Highlight your greatest attributes with a T-shirt that you can confidently always throw on. The True Classic doesn't just stop at tees, though. They are your one-stop shop for men's essentials. Super easy and simple to fill out your wardrobe, from polos and workout shirts with the same flattering fit to boxer briefs designed with a pouch to keep your bulge nice and comfortable. All of their gear is top-notch quality, and I'll stand by that. Top-notch quality at affordable prices. By the way, they're moisture wicking as well, which prevent BO. If that's an issue in your life, then you need to get yourself over to trueclassic.com. Use the promo code Bisping. You're going to get 25% off. Free shipping included on purchases over $100. That is 25% off trueclassic.com when you use the code Bisping. Strengthen your core wardrobe today with trueclassic.com. Harrington, show yourself. Give us a non-MMA story. What do we have? Preferably, nothing that's going to get us thrown off YouTube.
All right. Well, I mean, this might be pushing the boundary, but I don't think so. Marcelo B-Boy de Souza Ribeiro, he's undergone some insane body transformations, including removing a finger and splitting his hand to make him look like an alien. Now, he plans to cut off all his excess muscle and skin to continue to make him look more and more alien. Brian, if you want to pull up a picture of this guy.
Yeah. Pull up the picture. Just leave it on there because I want to study this man a little bit.
He had a finger cut off?
What?
Yeah, his middle finger, so he looks like this now.
What does he do?
Is he a rapper?
I would assume tattoo artist. I don't know. I think he's just a body, like somebody who's just super.
I know, but what's he do for work? How do you make money?
Yeah. Hey, how are you paying your bills? If you're going to take my daughter around, I got to know how you do it. Never mind, you got no fingers, you got fangs for teeth, and you look like a goddamn freak. Wow, I need to know what you're all doing for a living.
Like, this shit ain't cheap. I don't understand.
Never mind cheap. Who wants to look like that? You look like an absolute idiot.
You look like a cartoon character.
You look like a fool. Listen, I'm all for self-expression.
Oh, for sure.
God bless you. Go ahead, express yourself. But there's a limit. Chopping off fingers, I feel like fingers are useful.
Yeah, you might need those.
Why would you chop off a finger? Did we get any, is there any information on that, Harrington? I am curious. Ooh, he just wants to be original, doesn't he? He just wants to be unique.
So the goal with cutting off the finger is to like leave that extra slit in your hand so you can do like the Vulcan thing.
And you know never what I mean? Flip anybody off again.
Yeah, but you can do that with a little bit of practice. Anthony, give me a Vulcan sign. Give me a Star Trek.
I got it.
Mr. Spot. You can do that easy. Can you?
I don't know if I can.
It's hard for me.
Yeah, I got. Yeah. I can kind of do
West Side.
it.
West Side.
Yeah, throwing up gang sizzles.
He chops off his finger. What an absolute weirdo. Yeah, as I say, I'm all for self-expression. Go out there, do your thing. If you want those massive things in your ears, do them. If you want to cover yourself in tattoos, I couldn't care less. If you're a good person, that's all that matters. However, Callum came back from San Francisco with 2 diamond earrings in. I'm like, dude, what's going on there, bro? He's like, that's what you do. And now when I was growing up as a kid, and maybe I'm showing my age here, but if one earring was kind of acceptable. And I was always under the impression that 2 earrings was the feminine thing. And then maybe if you were a homosexual, then maybe you'd have 2 in. You know what I mean? He said, no. So I said, son, there's something you want to tell me? I'm not going to give a shit. And he's like, no. He said, it's if you wear 1 earring. That's when, you're sending out a signal or whatever.
See, they need to start sending out memos so people know what the hell's going on, know what all these signs mean.
Yeah. So then we sparred in the garage, and I knocked his earrings out. It's still in there. It wasn't on purpose, but we were sparring. And he goes, "Oh, my earring come out." I'm like, "Well, there you go. Now you got 1." I found it the other day when I was tidying up. Tattoos, you have plenty. Piercings, any?
No, not anymore. I used to have my nipples pierced. Long time ago.
We talked about that. Yeah.
I had an eyebrow piercing for a long time when I was younger. No other piercings.
These people because tattoos are all the rage, and as I say, fair play to you if you want to do them. I just how are they going to age? Do you know what I mean? How are you going to look when you're 80? Walking
I look
around?
like shit when I'm 80 either way.
Yeah, at least you look interesting, I guess. You know, if you're 80, how long do you want to live? I mean, I want to live as long as possible, but I don't want to be miserable with dementia and stuck in a nursing home and being spoon-fed yogurt.
No, I want to be that guy too.
You do?
I want to be the creepy old pervert in the nursing home.
There you go. You heard it first. Breaking news. Anthony Smith wants to be a creepy old pervert in the nursing home.
In my 80s. I think 80s probably good though.
No, I don't know.
Michaela's grandparents are pretty old too, so they're pretty happy all about their faculties and got their shit.
I see some people when they're in the hundreds. Like there was a woman recently. She was like 110, and she was walking along. It was on English TV. Yeah, she's walking along. She's totally with it. She's walking, and I just thought that's incredible. It just shows you got to look after your body, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think as long as I'm not miserable, like you said, not miserable and suffering, I want to live a long time.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there you go. Harrington, before we get to questions, is there anything that we've missed? Any big stories that need to be addressed? I mean, Jake Paul says he can beat Conor McGregor in MMA. Do we warrant that with a response?
No. But I mean, I don't know. If you want to, God bless. It's your show and you can do whatever you want. But there is one kind of big story.
God bless? Was that I believe you me? God bless? Because that's an insult if you remember back in the day.
I just say God bless everybody for everything now because blessings are great. No, but the one big story, Dana White himself teased it. He said it's going to be a big announcement for Fight Pass. UFC is moving hard into the grappling realm. GSP coming out of retirement this December for a grappling match at the UFC Invitational. What do you guys think?
Well, last Thursday I was at the Apex. I was there all week, and I walked through Thursday morning, and there's George with his people. And I know George, we've got a great relationship. George is the man. And, hey, what's up, George? And we're having a talk and we're having a laugh. We just end up laughing. Whenever me and George see each other, we just add something about each other's personalities. We just end up laughing our heads off. And he said, yeah, I'm doing the Fight Pass Invitational. And you did the Fight Pass Invitational. Yeah. And I think I said at the time, I was watching you doing it. This might give me a reason to train and get in shape properly, So I was talking to George and I'm like, I said, yeah, I was saying to Anthony, I said, I might do this. And then the guy that organizes it, I didn't realize. I thought it was just George's crew. He's there. Was it Steve?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Steve. He goes, Michael, we're signing you up. I'm like, what? And I'm like, I mean, I'm kind of interested. He goes, right, we're doing it. So he's been texting me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Multiple dates. I haven't agreed yet. Do you know what I mean?
You versus George.
Go.
That would be huge.
Yeah, he's a little bit skinnier than me these days.
Good.
I'm not sure if we can come to terms with the weight class. Yeah, good. Thank God.
Yeah, right.
No, I think he's going to go up against Diaz. Something like that.
I seen that. It was like a Diaz brother, or there was one other
Who
name.
was the other one?
Yeah,
Kamaru.
Kamaru. Yeah, he was interested in the Kamaru one, and then there was one other one. Was it either
The big rumor of the weekend, and one that he said he'd be interested in himself, was Khabib.
Oh, it's Habib. That was right. That would be huge.
Oh my God. Who wouldn't watch that? Khabib versus George. I mean, granted, it's only grappling.
Yeah, but you could put that at, you going to stick that at the Apex? You could do that somewhere. You could do an arena.
You could segue that into the middle of a pay-per-view event.
For sure.
And I don't think anyone would have an issue. You know, you might have a few morons booing, but imagine that, and they get a full-on walkout. You know what I mean?
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Khabib versus George in a little cage grappling.
You should make that suggestion to Dana, because that would be awesome. Like 2 fights, a grappling match with Khabib and George St. Pierre, and then finish it off with co-main and main event. That'd be fucking huge.
Yeah. Just a little bonus, bonus. And it wouldn't take too long. You know, by the time you do the walks, 5-10 minutes, you know, 10 minutes of grappling, or maybe 2 or 3 5-minute rounds, whatever, however they want to bloody do it. I don't think anyone would have an issue. And I think that would be the way to monetize that. And for those guys to make money as well.
For sure. That'd be huge.
I think that'd be a tough one for George.
It'd be a real tough one for George.
Yeah,
be a tough one.
I mean, I love George. Yeah,
honestly, to be fair though, most of Habib's takedowns are on the fence, and there is no fence.
I know. See, this is the thing, because I was thinking about this, because when I grapple, if there's a fence there, I can hit takedowns pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No fence. Ooh,
makes it tough.
We got issues. And I'm like, can we do it in a cage? Yeah.
But if it was the middle of a pay-per-view, it might be in a cage.
It'd be in a cage. I'll do that. I'll do that for sure. George is the man. Khabib, he's the man as well. I would love to see it for both of them.
To see that.
All right. And so Jake Paul says he can beat Conor McGregor in MMA.
Yeah.
No, he can't.
No,
he says, when I knock out Nate Diaz, I think Conor McGregor's going to see me, want a payday, and then get knocked out. I'll do MMA. I'm not afraid. I've wanted to do MMA my whole career. I have a wrestling background. All I'd have to do is learn some jiu-jitsu and some kicks.
Oh, that's it.
Seems pretty easy.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I don't think he's knocking out Nate Diaz, because I seen a clip this morning of Nate Diaz sparring with like a 30-1 pro boxer and kind of beating the shit out of him.
Me and Brian were just talking about that, and Brian was going to fact check that, because I don't know who the boxer is, but they're saying a 30-1 pro boxer.
If he's 30-1?
Yeah, but it depends who he's for. But Brian, did you find anything?
I have a little bit of info on that.
I got the guy's name. It's Esquiva Falco. And, I'll pull up his record right now.
Right. The issue with that, Ben the Bane Davis, he's an MMA Twitter person. He posted that video and said that it was that Esteban, that 30-0 fighter. Turns out it was not him. And it was a guy who has never fought before.
Okay. Well,
how do you know?
Much like Jake Paul, anyways.
Yeah. How do you know that, Harrington? Real quick. How do you know that?
Like a lot of people were fact checking it in the Twitter thread that Ben posted, and Ben himself said, "Yeah, hands up, my bad. I'm not going to delete this because it'll I have to own looking like an idiot." But yeah, that's why.
No. He's not going to delete it. The reason he put it up there is to get more Twitter traffic, to get more retweets, to get more people talking about him. Like, I'm not going to delete it because I got to own it. No, because you're full of shit, bro. Right? I knew straight away. He's not boxing. That guy that is sparring there does not look like he's a professional with a record of 30-1. Yeah. Anyway, so Jake Paul.
Well, now I'm like, sorry, I'm all just watching it.
Nice body shot by Nate there.
Anyways,
nice body shot. Right. Yeah. Old Nate's Jake's got to do is learn some kicks in jiu-jitsu. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's not hard at all. It's a couple weeks. Yeah, he probably have it all.
Weeks.
He'll have a brown belt.
What more do you need to know?
And a capoeira and black belt in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard.
Conor would just bounce his shin off that dude's fucking face so fast.
Oh God, shin on chin. But then, of course, one delusional dickhead to another one. His brother, not to be outdone. He says, if Elon Musk and Eric Zuckerberg, Mark, I will do my UFC debut on the undercard for free. I'll fight for charity. anyone. You know who I want to fight? Because that bitch ass Andrew Tate won't fight me. Give me Paddy Pimblett. Well, Andrew Tate can't leave his house. He's on house arrest and doing a lot of criminal time. I think that's more the reason why he won't fight you. Give me Paddy the Baddy, because he's a lightweight and I'm about 200 pounds. No, he says in the off season, that boy looks like a blimp, but he'll come up to my weight class and I'll wallop him. Bro, he's too small when he cuts weight. When he doesn't cut weight, he's an effing horseshoe. What does he mean by a horseshoe?
I don't know what he means by horseshoe either. I was going to ask you the same thing.
Probably just a round joke that doesn't really land too well.
You're coming through very quiet, Brian. Just a little tippity bip.
They're both idiots.
They're idiots.
Idiots. I don't even know what to say. Like, I hate when they're like, "Oh, I'll do it for free." Like, they give a fuck about the money. Like, Dana's gonna be like, jump. Oh, he said he'd do it for free. Like, he's gonna jump out of his chair. Like, that man pays Conor fucking McGregor. You think he's worried about paying you? Like, chill out with this whole I'll do it for free. No one gives a shit.
But he wouldn't do it for free. No. For free. Everything they do is for money. Simple as that. You know what I mean? This whole thing about the fucking union, shut up. Yeah. Helping fighters, shut up. There was people on your undercard that got paid next to goddamn nothing.
You worry about the fucking undercard. FDA and less about Paddy Pimblett.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so, how about you fight someone your own size? Yeah. You know what I mean?
And give me one of those chains, one of them prime necklaces, because those do look sweet.
I wouldn't wear one of them if you paid me. Never. Imagine if I rocked up with a big gold chain, because that's all the rage now. It's not just a chain, but there's like a big plaque on the end of it.
Yeah.
Is there a name for those?
We need big BYM chains.
Right, I'm just throwing it out there. If anyone's willing, if you want to send me a diamond encrusted gold chain with BYM engraved onto it, I'll take it. Okay.
Yeah, but you got to send 4.
There you go, Brian. Now you're back to your regular volume. You got to send 4. I mean, if we had real fans, Jesus Christ.
If they really loved us and appreciated what we did.
I mean, I had a neighbor just recently carved me a big piece of wood with the count carved into it. That's a neighbor. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Could one of these guys send us some gold chains with diamonds? All right. Okay. We're waffling on. We've gone on enough. Holly Holm, Mayra Bueno Silva this weekend. That's an interesting fight, by the way.
That is an interesting fight. That is.
Bueno Silva's looked really impressive. She's looked
really good. I'm digging into that fight card tonight when I get to Vegas and really gonna figure out, just get into the X's and the O's. But just at a 30,000 foot view, it's a great fight for sure. Jack Della Maddalena is the co-main event.
Oh, he is. He got a fight. Fantastic.
He's fighting Basil Hafez, an old teammate of mine.
Is he really? Because I was going to say, Basil. I don't know Basil. I don't know.
Really tough jiu-jitsu guy. Really nasty jiu-jitsu guy. He's really exciting, power in his hands, not afraid to bang. Kind of a dogfight type of dude.
I'm just going to give you some quick predictions off the top of my head. Bueno Silva, 10-2, lost to Manon Fiorot, lost to Marina Moroz. They're the only 2 losses on a 3-fight win streak. Wu Yanan, Stephanie Egger, and Lena Landsberg. I'm just going to throw it out there. I think Bueno Silva's incredible. I think she's aggressive. She's got great jiu-jitsu, and she's just nasty. But that Holly Holm that we saw, was it San Antonio, when she took on – who did she fight last?
God damn it.
Who did you fight last? My God, I'm just going to click on the Wikipedia page. I don't care. Stop me. You can't. I've done it. I'm scrolling. I'm going down. Who is it? There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yana Santos. She's smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah, smoked her, man. I mean, my God. So I think main event, Holly Holm gets the job done. Are you leaning? Can you lean?
Yeah, I'm leaning Holly Holm for sure. Just because she always finds a way to win.
So Basil Hafez is your boy.
He's an old teammate for sure.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm sorry to say this to you, Anthony. Your teammate's going to get smoked.
Probably. Yeah. No.
I thought you'd be offended. I was trying to.
No. We don't train together anymore. He's at a different team in Denver. But
fuck Basil.
He's got a decent skill set. He's very dangerous on the ground. He's given me lots of problems in the jiu-jitsu area. But the fight starts on the feet, and that's a problem.
Yeah. All jokes aside, Basil, hope you're well, mate, and I wish you all the best this weekend. Jack Della Maddalena.
And he made it to the UFC.
Hey, I'm so high on Jack Della Maddalena, and
So
I was
am I.
so disappointed that his fight fell off last week. So that's tremendous that he's back on. And we got Ottoman Azaitar taking on Francisco Prado. He's decent. Albert Duraev, Park Jun-young. That's a good
fight. That's a really good fight.
Yeah. Norman Dumont, Chelsea Chandler. Terrence McKinney's back.
Terrence McKinney's in a good fight too. Yeah. There's not a shit ton of name value. There's not a bunch of big stars, but some really, really good matchups. The Terrence McKinney fight's amazing. Otman Azaitar is must-see TV. That guy's a lot of fun to watch. Norman Dumont's always in pretty good fights too. That's decent. A fight that was scheduled at 145, which is weird.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Anyway, well, best of luck to everyone competing this weekend. I hope you all make it home safe. So if you want to send the question in, send it into bympod@gmail.com. You know the drill, you know the dance. Ask us something interesting and original if you do have that in your wheelhouse.
And if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts, make sure you subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps out on those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new video drops. And if you want to catch over 400 episodes you can't find anywhere else, completely ad-free and totally uncensored, head to gasdigital.com. Use the promo code DYM. Get yourself a 7-day free trial. Check out over 20 great shows on the network.
All right, so first question we have here today is from Mr. Jacob Zasowski, and this is what we call in the industry a callback.
Okay.
Yo, BYM Pod, what is poppin'? Jake here from Pennsylvania with another quick question. My question for you guys is about your kids. What is your proudest moment as a father? Thank you.
Oh God, that's hard.
Yeah, that's
hard. It's really hard because
I have lots of them.
So many, and I've got 3 different children, so I'd have to go through each child individually, because otherwise, when they hear this, they'll be like, "He said the proudest moment as a father."
Right.
You mentioned Ellie. She doesn't do all. I'm joking, Ellie.
I would say generally overall, my prouder moments are when it's like one of two things: when they're struggling with something and they figure it out, like they work really hard to figure it out, whether that's sports or school or whatever, or just them accomplishing something. But I'm very proud of them when they're having some adversity and they battle through, and then you see the fruits of their hard work afterwards.
I was pretty proud yesterday because Lucas never used to give a damn. I used to always take him on the pads, and he's done jiu-jitsu for years, but he never really tried too much. But he always enjoyed wrestling. But he's turned a corner recently. I told you he's been going to this MMA school. Yeah. And yesterday, because we went off to England, and it's the summer holidays, and then it was 4th of July, so he hasn't been in. So yesterday I was on the bag, did a workout. I said, right, son, I went in, I said, 10-minute call. Then you're in the garage with me. So I took him on the pads and everything. And my God, the progress and the technique was up. And I was like, that made me proud. I'm like, God bless, go on. Callum makes me proud every day. Him being born, when the child's born, that's a proud moment. But yeah, it's a difficult one. But thank you for the question, buddy, because we got multiple children each. So I ain't
trying to piss anybody off.
Trying to or hurt their feelings, having them cry themselves to sleep. I just want my father's validation.
I just want my dad to love me.
Yeah. Brian, what else, buddy?
All right, we got another question here from Claire James, and she wants to know about you guys' bucket lists.
Hi guys, Claire from Sunderland, England here.
How are you, man?
Keep up the good work with the podcast. I just want to know what is on your bucket lists. So big things, small things, daft things. Yeah, let us know.
Good question.
It's a great
Interesting.
Question.
I don't know if I've necessarily got a bucket list, but there's a few things I've talked about doing. Is there anything off the top of your mind?
Oh, yeah. I want to skydive. That's on there, which I plan on doing this summer. I actually bought a skydiving trip last year, and then me and like 5 of my neighbors or so, 5 or so of us were supposed to go. For some reason, I got that blood clot, and I was on the blood thinners, and I couldn't skydive, so I couldn't go. So I still have like a credit with that company to go by myself. So I want to do that. I want to ride a bull, which I'm also doing in September.
That's okay.
Yeah, I can ride a bull.
I'd rather ride a bull than jump out of an airplane.
Yeah, I think I'm more afraid of the bull, to be honest with you.
I mean, one of those. I mean, they're dangerous animals.
For sure. But I'm in
I'd rather ride a bull than jump out of a plane at 30,000 feet or however high you are. You know, that's a pretty solid way to kill yourself.
It's fast though.
Oh, for sure. When you hit the floor, you're not going to know
fast.
anything about it.
Yeah.
1 minute you're there, 1 minute you're not.
Then
Brian,
you're
just
bouncing like a
quickly look
basketball.
up the percentage of people or people that die in skydiving accidents or parachutes don't open.
It's actually not that often. I looked it up one time. It's the people that do die in skydiving accidents, it's usually like really experienced people that are like showing off. They're going
pushing the boundaries.
They're pushing the boundaries, yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm being silly.
It says fatalities occur in roughly 1 in 500,000 tandem jumps and 1 in roughly 220,000 solo jumps. So you got a pretty good stats there.
Yeah, no, survival is in your favor.
It is.
Yeah.
But if not, then you're not going to know about it for too long. You'll be scared for a second.
Bucket lists, I don't know. They're pretty lame compared to yours. I want to hike Mount Kilimanjaro, and I want to do it with the boys.
That's
I want to do
pretty
it with me,
insane.
Callum and Lucas. I want to when they're up a little bit. I want to go off on a trip and go hike Mount Kilimanjaro. I've always said we're going to do that because it's the highest mountain that you can hike or climb without any real mountaineering training. You're just going to be in decent, kind of half decent shape, and you can do it. So
where is that at?
Africa.
Oh, that'd be cool. Africa was a bucket list for me too. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Come with us. I'd like to go on a safari.
Oh, safari is one of them. Going to Japan. Yeah. I've never been to Japan. That's always been on the list.
That's a good one too.
Yeah. I'm going to go
Thailand.
to
I want to go to Thailand. We've talked about this a bunch. I want to go to Thailand.
Bucket list stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's so many things I haven't done that I want to do, but I'm struggling to think of one right now. But thank you for the question, my pal from Sunderland. How are you, man? We like you to call in with the questions, pet. Brian, I don't know what this accent's becoming now, but you got another question for us.
We do have one more question here. Okay. This is from Connor Cartwright.
Oh.
All right, Bisping, how are we going on, me all over, old pal? Anyway, this question's for all of you. Brian and Harrington and all. Hey. What's your favourite beer? Mine's Stella. And also, what's your favourite spirit? I like JD, me. Have a good one, lads. Hey.
He's a bit special, isn't he? But I like it because he's adding it on.
I like it.
Oh, right. Anthony, what's your favourite beer? I don't even need to know because you're gonna do it. Bush,
I just absolutely happened to have one ready for when I was done with.
You just happened to have one. You're in training camp, sausage. What are you doing?
Oh, come on, man! I've been drinking beers my whole life. Yeah. It doesn't change when I'm in training camp.
No, it doesn't change a goddamn
favorite
thing.
spirit though. I've been on vodka heavy for a while.
It's light beer. Doesn't count.
Yeah, that's true. There's water and beer too, so I'm hydrating.
Favorite beer? I mean, he would have a Stella. I've told you this before. In Stella, they call it wife beater. You know that?
No.
You can walk in certain parts of England. You can walk into a pub and say we wanted 2 Stellas. I'll say, yeah, 2 wife beaters here, and they bring you 2 Stellas. You know, because you have 10 of them. You go home and beat your wife. That's what they used to say in the 90s. You can't say those jokes anymore.
You can't say that anymore.
But that's what they used to say.
A wife beater to me was those like tank top undershirts when I was a kid.
Probably a similar story behind the origination.
Well, most people get drunk off of 10 Stellas and are wearing those tank tops and then go home and beat their wife back in the day.
He looks like a wife beater, this guy that sends in the questions.
Yeah, you know I'd love him.
Me too. He's great. He's great. But it's always, you know, when you pick a wife beater, if you were to pick who would be a wife beater, it's never the big, strong, macho guys.
No, never.
It's the little wimps.
It's the little.
You can't do it against. You can't do it against a man. So they take it out on a woman.
For sure.
And I know in this modern day and age, a 110-pound woman can knock out a 350-pound gigantic bodybuilder with one in a movie. But that doesn't work in real life. Don't try that.
Yeah,
don't do it.
That, ladies.
If you're a woman and you've done a bit of taekwondo, don't do that.
No, carry a gun.
Favorite beer? I would say Sapporo.
Sapporo? What is that?
Oh, it's Japanese. I want to go to Japan.
Where do you get those from? Where would you get one of those if I was going to try to get one?
CVS.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's so bougie and fancy. You've never heard of it. It's Japanese, bro.
Yeah, you're like, this is super fancy.
No, it's mainstream.
You got to go to Barry's to get a bottle of that.
You got to speak to a supplier. They only come off the boat twice a month, and they're gone like that. They're gone. No, CVS, bro. Get yourself a Sapporo.
I will.
The big cans. These are a bitch to get hold of. The big 22-ounce cans.
Yeah.
They're always sold out. So I have to get the 12-pack of the little ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm off the beer. I am off the beer. Oh, God, yeah. Because
I was completely off of the beer until these peaches came out. So I've been drinking.
No, I came back from England and then I was in Vegas last week. It's nonstop. And I'm like, well, I'm traveling nonstop all summer. So I've got to, at some point, I've got to pull the cord. You know what I mean? So I'm working out like a bitch. No beer. Still a little vodka to answer the question. That's my spirit of choice. Don't really do brown spirits.
What kind of vodka?
I like a Belvedere.
Belvedere is very good. Yeah.
Belvedere's good.
I'm like Belvedere, mostly Grey Goose.
Yeah.
But, if somewhere has Belvedere and I see it, I'll usually order it with Belvedere, though.
Yeah, Belvedere's the one. What was I going to say there a second ago? I said something. Oh, well, whatever. Can't do
you don't do dark. You don't do dark liquors.
Oh, yeah, I don't. Do you drink whiskey?
No, not at all.
No, same here. Because Rebecca asked me never to drink it again. Because
my wife tells me I can't.
yeah, same here. Because we had an incident. We went to a friend's house. We were drinking already. A bottle of this guy, very nice guy, pulls out a bottle of whiskey. It's just great. We drink the whole bloody bottle of whiskey, get into a stupid argument. I'm acting like a dickhead all night long. You know what I mean? Raising my voice and stuff like that. And I woke up the next day with a blazing headache. I'm like, wow. And she was like, wow. She's like, you were a handful last night. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't drink whiskey. And she goes, yeah.
No,
how about we don't drink whiskey as a general rule? I'm like, yep, no problem. No problem with that. So
she says, no, you're right, Mike. You don't. Anymore.
Yeah, you don't. That's right. You don't drink whiskey. Okay. I'm leaving.
I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way. I used to drink a little bit of like Fireball whiskey when I would golf. But then as soon as I get off the
I'll still have a little whiskey.
Yeah, I'll take a shot here and there, but I'm not drinking.
I don't drink it as a rule.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
All right. Glad we got that out of the way for next time we have some drinks together.
We're having whiskey. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your weekends, enjoy your fights, enjoy the incredible analysis from Anthony Smith on ESPN, wherever you are in the world, from Australia to Uganda to the United States of America. Enjoy your weekends. We'll be back on Monday. Oh, and thank you to Stipe. And thank you to Anthony for arranging Stipe. Good job. Adios.